Mi and her husband Cal attend marriage counseling where they argue about Cal's so-called affair with his childhood friend, Jenna. Cal claims it isn't an affair, but Mi thinks otherwise since he was holding her hand at a cave. Cal's phone rings, and it's his mom. He tells the counselor that they have to leave early because it's his mom's birthday, but Mi insists on staying and finishing the session alone. Once Cal leaves, Mi tells the therapist that Cal is a mama's boy who basically eats her booty whole. At dinner, Mi arrives late and Cal's mom, Azalia, makes a joke that Cal's future second wife will come on time. Mi isn't amused and greets her a happy birthday. Azalia introduces Jenna to Mi, joking around again saying that she wishes Jenna was her daughter-in-law. Somebody better slap this white woman into next week, otherwise I'll do it. Azalia shows everyone their seats, and Jenna is sat next to Cal while Mi is sat at the end with her sister-in-law, Charlize. Cal brings out a gift for his mom, and it's an expensive watch that he sets from him and Mi. Mi looks at him confused, then gets angry when Azalia mentions to Jenna that the couple aren't on good terms. The dinner comes to an end and Mi mentions that there's a popular artist named Sierra at the restaurant, hence the paparazzi. Charlize's husband, Ray, says that he bought 2 paintings from Sierra, but he plans to sell them because he's involved in a murder case, and Ray's the one prosecuting it. Azalia tells Jenna to give Cal a hug as she leaves. Mi is appalled at this, but Charlize gives her a hug to comfort her before leaving. On the ride home, the couple argues about the watch. Cal says he had to buy it because it's his mother. Then Mi asks how much it was. He confesses that he sold the piano since she stopped playing it years ago when Beyoncé disbanded their girl group. He doesn't want Mi to keep complaining because his mom has done so many things for him and Ray, and she's also dying. Cal reassures her that he's not interested in Jenna because she isn't Mi. So Jenna is the Michelle of the group. Mi is at work and is told that Gier is at her office. She meets him at her office and Gier tells her that the police had raided his home again and damaged to commissioned artworks. He strongly declares that he wasn't the one that killed his girlfriend, Hitty, and asks if Mi can represent him in his case. Mi says she'll see what she can do and Gier thanks her. Cal checks up on Mi as she's working and sees Gier's file. He firmly tells her that she can't represent him as he doesn't want to see his wife defending a murderer on the news. Mi slams their bills on the table and asks Cal which one he'll help with since he hasn't had work the past 8 months and they've been dishing out medical bills for his mom. Mi mentions that if Cal arrived at work high off anesthesia, they wouldn't be in their current situation. She says Gier's case will pay their bills. The next day, she meets up with Gier at his place. Mi tries to get more details from him, then shows him pictures of the crime scene. She also shows him a video of Heidi panicking saying, "He's going to kill me." Gier says it isn't real and doesn't know why she recorded it. They come to an agreement that they'll be truthful to each other throughout the case if he wants Mi to represent him. Mi returns home and sees Azalia and the brothers waiting for her. They have a sudden dinner together and Ray confronts Mi about representing Gier. But Azalia immediately says Mi can't since Ray's prosecuting the case and plans to put him in jail to further his political career. Mi is back at work and on the phone with Charlize. She says that Cal called Ray to tell him that Mi is repping Gier, causing Ray and Azalia to get angry, and she apologizes for it. Later Mi meets up with Jimmy, a private investigator. They catch up and Jimmy tells her that he'll do everything he can to help Mi in the case. That night, Mi and Jimmy visit Gier to ask him some questions. They interrogate him about Heidi and his previous girlfriend, trying to look for signs of abusive behavior. Gier mentions that Heidi was into hardcore, painful exercise in bed. Jimmy has to leave for his flight to Mexico to seek more information about Heidi. Mi follows after him and asks what he thinks of Gier according to his body language. Jimmy is sure that Gier is lying and Mi feels the same way. She returns inside and finds Gier smoking on the balcony. He tells her that he was never a womanizer and prefers to see pleasure on his woman's face, not pain. So, he doesn't know why his ex lied. He clarifies that she wasn't even his ex, just a fling. Mi tells him not to worry because Jimmy will try his best to get more information. Jimmy calls Mi from Mexico. He tells her that there's no birth record of a Heidi in Mexico and can't find her family either. He also mentions that there's someone named Renee who has a lot to say and will be meeting up with her when he returns. Mi is back at Gier's place, and she asks him about Renee. Gier admits that he slept with her before. He tells her all about Renee, but she's distracted, staring at his lips and neck. Gier talks about how controlling Renee was, then asks Mi if she can relate to him. Mi empathizes with him and tells him a bit about her troubled marriage. Gier makes her sit in front of the canvas and close her eyes. They paint together, but Mi says it's enough, and she'll miss the train. On the way back home, Mi can't stop thinking about her time with Zier earlier. She rides Cal when she's home, but looks dissatisfied with his Uber. At work, Cal visits Mi with a bouquet and asks her out to dinner tonight. She accepts. Then Zier approaches her from behind and introduces himself to Cal. However, Cal doesn't care to shake his hands. Cal leaves, then Zier insists on meeting at his loft since the paparazzi are following him. He leaves and gives Mi no choice. She arrives a day late at his place. Zier is upfront and tells her that he finds her attractive, and his jaw rises whenever he sees her. Mi doesn't show any emotion, then takes out a tablet. Reading aloud news headlines about rumors of his murder case, Zier says he can't trust her since she won't admit that she's attracted to him, and talks about getting a new lawyer. Mi denies being attracted to him, and says she's just there to help. Zier grabs his coat, ready to leave, and Mi decides to follow him. Eventually, they're in a room where people are doing dirty exercise positions. She opens the curtain to see a club with beds and people doing lewd things with each other. A random man asks her if she wants to do the nasty. So this is when she dips the F out of air. She returns home to see Cal playing video games in a call with Jana. He doesn't hear her, and she's so over it. Honestly, same girl, same. Mi visits Zier once again, and he apologizes to her. Mi clarifies that she was just setting boundaries between the two of them, and he asks why she needs to. He kisses her neck, then Mi tells him to follow up with her if he still wants her to represent him. A woman goes up the stairs naked and walks off with Zier. Mi sees her kneel in front of him to give a mouth massage, then leaves as Zier watches her. She gets into her car and gets a call from Jimmy. He delivers bad news about Cal, sending her a picture of him and Jenna entering a hotel room at the Winston. Mi is in disbelief, but gets an idea. She re-enters Zier's loft and walks up to him as the woman rides him like a motorcycle. He signals her to get off, and the two make out. Mi tells him to stop. Then they grab their coats and leave to go on a night ride. They come back and make out some more, getting undressed and pouring paint all over each other. They burn calories on the floor, all covered in paint, then fall asleep. Mi wakes up in bed with a painted portrait of her on the ceiling. Zier gives her a bath to get all the paint off, and they talk about what it would have been like if they'd met earlier. Mi arrives at her office where Cal and Charlize are waiting for her. They ask where she's been and why she didn't get home. Mi explains that she worked late and got a hotel. Cal gets angry that she didn't update him, but Charlize tells him to calm down and go back to the Winston, the hotel that Jimmy mentioned. Mi asks about it, and Charlize says that Azalia was moved to the Winston so she can be closer to the hospital since she's feeling worse. Mi asks what room, and she tells her the same room number that Jimmy said. Charlize leaves and Cal stays to talk with Mi, who's disappointed and angry at her. Mi apologizes, but it doesn't do much. She meets up with Jimmy and tells him about what she'd done. He comforts her and Mi starts crying, saying she can't rap share, but needs the money badly. Jimmy gives her a pet talk and tells her to keep trying and keep her head up. Mi visits the art gallery to talk to Renee. Renee tells her that Zier used her and left when he was done with her. She tells him a story of when Zier set her down to paint, similar to what he had Mi do. Renee shares that when she woke up in his bed, the painting of her face was up on the ceiling. She adds that there are many canvases, many layers on that ceiling. Mi leaves the gallery anxious and scared. She heads to Zier's place and goes directly for the painting on top of his bed. She peels off her painting only to reveal another woman's face behind it. She keeps peeling off the paintings as Zier talks about how he's been feeling. He notices that Mi is not responding, then looks up to find her peeling the paintings. He rushes upstairs to explain himself, just in time for Mi to find the painting of Heidi with a message painted in red. "Die, you ruined my life." Zier says it's because of the video, but Mi doesn't buy it and tells him she's done. Mi and Cal arrive at Ray's home where Charlize and Azalia are waiting for them. There's tension in the air as Ray calls Cal over to whisper something in his ear. He looks at Mi in disbelief, and she tells him that she has something to tell him in private. Azalia refuses it and says that she can tell it to all of them. Mi tries to call Cal, but Ray doesn't let her. Azalia says that Cal works overtime to provide for them, and all she does is buy expensive suits. Ray tells her to be honest, causing Mi to scoff about honesty. Cal confesses that he lost his job and is in rehab, but Azalia blames it on Mi for pressuring him, saying that she doesn't deserve him. "I'm about to slap all these heifers." Ray mentions that he got a call saying Mia's off the case due to her inappropriate relationship with her client. Cal presses her on where she was that night, and she reveals that she slept with Sierra. This causes Cal to break down and throw things, and Azalea yells at her to leave. Mia's at the beach watching the news about Sierra when she gets a call from Jimmy. She tells him that she needed to get away and clear her head. She goes on a jog, and when she's done, she bumps into a familiar face. The woman asks her what she needs, and Mia calls her Hitty. Her face drops, and she pretends she can't understand English. She runs away, and Mia chases after her. She tells Hitty that she's coming with her to the police, but Hitty sprays and steals her phone, dropping the cart on her and running off. Mia comes out of the police station with a new phone to call Charlize so she can talk to Ray. She tells Ray that Sierra's innocent since Hitty's alive working at a resort. Ray tells her to come home and he'll have someone investigate it. Mia arrives at their place as Ray and Azalea are waiting for them. Mia gets a phone call from Jimmy, and he tells her to check her email. She gasps because she doesn't know how to use Excel, then notices a red room where there's similar paintings. She exits and Azalea approaches her for help, causing Mia to drop her phone, and Azalea breaks it with her knee. She helps Azalea sit at the table, and Ray hands her a drink. She doesn't drink it, and tells Ray to read his email. Mia finds out that Azalea doesn't actually have cancer, and they just did it so Ray can get sympathy votes from her. Azalea raises her glass to toast Charlize for sleeping with Sierra, and Ray brings out a painting of her done by him. Mia realizes that Ray set Sierra up by hiring Heidi since Charlize slept with Sierra. Azalea gets mad that both of her daughter-in-laws slept with the same man. Mia tells Charlize to get the kids so they can leave. Azalea tells Charlize to stab Mia, and she grabs the knife to swing at Ray. He blocks her and punches her. Then Azalea grabs the knife to go for Mia. They have violent family bonding in the kitchen, and Mia makes a run for it while Charlize is impaled by her mother-in-law. Mia gets in the car to drive off, leaving Ray behind and Azalea dangling on the trunk. She crashes the car to get her off, but it no longer turns on. Mia runs on the street to call for help, and she sees Cal driving. She gets in the car, and Cal calls the police. Cal drives in the direction of the house and gets a phone call from 911. Mia is confused why they're calling him, so she turns on the Bluetooth in the car and finds out that Ray's telling him to bring her back. She's in disbelief and Cal punches her after she said that she slept with Sierra because he's got money and success. Unlike weak Cal, Mia sees a truck in front of them, so she unbuckles his seatbelt and grabs the wheel to crash his side of the car into the truck. Cal goes flying, and Mia looks at his still body from the passenger seat. Ray is arrested, while a news reporter explains what happened. Sierra is released as a free man and tells the paparazzi that he thanks Mia for what she's done. Mia checks her phone and sees a text from Sierra thanking her and asking to meet up. She throws her phone away and walks off. Dang, what a dramatic ending that culminated into a what-the-if moment several times over. Tyler Perry is really out here making crazy drama movies that make us all laugh. What did you guys think? Subscribe for more videos like this. Turn on notifications and leave a like. It really helps the channel.